Welcome to Hive AV. This tutorial will review setting up audio controls. We'll set up both Hall technology devices that already have a set UI, and then we'll also show off our TCP/IP direct dynamic audio controls, which basically will create a slider, increments up and down, mute, and microphone mute according to what code and strings you put in. Great. Let's begin with our panel. And I don't have this in factory default mode, but I will review connecting devices from top down. Um, we'll do the Atlas BlueBridge DSP on another tutorial following this one. Our HT Odyssey is already connected, and this is primarily an audio speakerphone device. We have our MC200 already entered in and connected as well. Versa auto discovers, so here it all is. All I have to do is enable it. There we go. And our HT TRK1, our room technology kit, already connected, saved, enabled. Great. Now we also have a camera, but no audio there. It's there. All right, so let's go to activities. And you can see right now, I have the Odyssey selected and as the audio device. And when I hit the drop down, I have a whole list here of other devices I could use also. When I hit the test button, you can see I have a little increment up and down, and this is literally changing the volume right now on the HT Odyssey, and this mutes the mic, and I can see it actually light up and go off when I do that. Let's try one of our other devices, so we can kind of see what they look like. So this is the Versa, uh, and you can either use an encoder or a decoder, the sender or receiver, to control the audio output out. Now, the line out for the encoders is usually just going to be that one source. So it might be better to pick the Samsung or the display because we know that the audio will always follow that video and the output from that box can go right into an amp, and then you have easy audio following the video switching. Hit save, and you can kind of see when I come down here what that looks like. One note on this, you'll need to set up You'll need to make sure that the Versa is set into guest mode under the UART. As opposed to pass through. It may or may not affect line out control, but it is recommended to do for any type of control outside of just plain switching for Versa. Great. Next, let's look at the MC200. Right. I hit save again. And you notice it's real simple. All I have to do is pick the device, and it generates the UI. And here it is, right here. And this has two microphone mutes for both microphone inputs. And then you have your speaker over here. It's the odd one. Next, let's try Apollo. This is our TRK1. I hit test. I have a nice little slider. It's adjusting as it should. Mute, mute. Great. So it's really easy. I think I've shown that it's really easy to set up Hall technology devices. They're fixed as far as what can be controlled. So we know that, oh, well, we'll have we can support a volume slider, or we can support a microphone mute, or we can support a speaker mute, or we can support increment up and down. But if you want to build all of these, then you can try using something else called TCP/IP direct. And this function will also be in Power presets and Power and global presets, which we'll go over in following tutorials. But basically, this works by connecting to any device directly as long as it will utilize TCP raw and doesn't need any type of negotiations like some Telnet does. So it works for 90% of TCP IP connections. So just so you know what I'm doing, I'm setting up something so that we can test what's coming out. And I use Hercules. It's a great utility. It's a free download that you can find online. And basically, what I've done is I've created a server using my laptop, right? So my laptop's IP address and then this value right here is going to be a device that will be able to take incoming command strings. And that way we can see exactly what's going out the door. If I needed to set up any kind of authentication, I could click on this right here. Um, um, Now, if I needed this to be hex, these commands down here, I would just simply click on this little hex button right here. If not, it's assumed that that each of these commands will have a a, a carriage return and a line feed. Once you click on this, then it'll be pure hex. So the slider um, works with a variable, right? Level set, let's just call this. These are made up strings. And we're going to want to set that level, right, using a variable, a, right? And so this variable a is going to inject whatever we have under set level. So when we move the slider up, it'll go towards 100, all the way to 100 at the end. And if you move the slider down, it'll go the other direction. I think this will give you a little example of what's happening. Now I can hit save right here, and I'm already ready to test. If this is all the audio control you need, we're done, right? And you can see when I move that up that it level set 67, right? I move it back down, level set 42, and you can see it's injecting that 0D0A in there already. That'll come out once you select hex. And if you select hex, you could also change what that carriage return line feed is. Let's add more control. I'll just do up. Yeah, these really simple API. I wish everything was this simple, right? Down. And if you hit tab, it'll go to the next one to say no. Mute on, mute off, mic mute on, mic mute off. All right. Now, didn't have to put in level up and down. I could put in just the mic mute on one and mic mute. I could do any one of these and it'll add just that one element of control. I just went ahead and just added all of them, just so we can see how the finished product looks. Voila. Look at that. We have our nice little slider. And you can see these increments move the slider. The mute will back down to 0, back to where it was. And here's our mic mute. And you can see all these commands that it just set up coming through right here. You see my level set, my up, my down, my mute on, mute off, mic mute on accordingly. Now I could just leave this right where it is. And if we wanted to, we can If this is all the control we need, then I can press my Hive AV button, and voila, we have a fully functional system with audio, switching, all kinds of control for your audio control needs, and the end user can mute the mic if they want, if they need to. They can mute the speaker if they need to. They can adjust the level coming out of the speakers, and they can do slight incremental changes if they need to. One last note going back to the set levels. The best part about these set levels is that you can make them for the human ear. So oftentimes these levels go out of range. So 0 is not even audible, right? Um, So really you might want to start and an audible range might be 20. Or that might be where you actually start, the human ear starts hearing audio. 100 could blow up the speakers, right? Maybe the range that we not need is just between 20 and 80. This is important, and that's how we're using this variable. And you can see now my range is a lot different if I go all the way up, all the way up, or all the way down, right? 20. Yep, perfect. Anyway, thank you for your time, and